As it is the appointed time for the DeKalb County Regular Commissioners Meeting, this meeting of July 6, 2026 will be called to order. The first item of our agenda, even though it's not on there, is to welcome our newest commissioner, Mr. Terry Yard. Welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Look forward to it, so let's get her going.
Amen. You wish to speak? No? Okay. Well, thank you for taking on this appointment. We appreciate it.
Forward to doing it.
So under old business, we have amendment number 3 for County Road 56 project approval. You wish to speak to it?
I can. It's the amendment for the contract for County Road 56 for another extension. This will extend us up through June of 2027. It's due to the settling on the west end of 56, down where the peat area was at. We've got some work that's got to be completed out there yet in order to get the 80% funds for NDOT to pay. This contract extension was needed. So, and that is for the commissioner president to sign.
I suspect we probably should have a motion and et cetera for this extension. So, gentlemen.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the extension of and this is the third time.
Yes.
Yeah, that has been extended. Any other discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 3-0.
Actually, this is the second extension, but it'd be the third contract.
Third contract.
Right.
Okay, yeah. First ordinance for second and or third, if you gentlemen so wish, is ordinance number 2026-0-4, amendment for County Road 61. We've had first reading.
And this one is one that was amended since the first reading. I'm not sure, I don't know what was amended, but
It has, under section 2, down at the very bottom paragraph there, it says nothing in this ordinance obligates Indiana law on weight permitted for farm vehicles. That was the amendment.
so,
To try to make it clear that farm vehicles are exempted, whatever they're exempted under state law, they're exempted here.
Right.
so we can do the second and third reading. We're just going to pass it as amended on the second and third.
The only time that I think that would be inappropriate is if we're doing a wholesale change to the entire language, and here it's just small amendments I believe are okay to do on second and third.
Gentlemen, you've heard the recommendation. Would entertain a motion. We have a motion.
Second.
And a second to accept the amended ordinance 2026-0-4 for County Road 61. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 3-0. Ordinance 2026-0-5, amendment to county highway regulations. I don't think there were any amendments to this one, is there?
No.
No, there's just on the 2 overweight permits. There's amendments.
The other one is the last one.
Oh, okay.
So you're doing both readings on all these then, or are you just doing this?
Second and third.
Yeah, well, it's up to these gentlemen,
Yeah.
but yes, we'll do second and third on all of them, if that's their pleasure.
Whether you fine with that, Terry? Doing second and third reading? Okay.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to accept the ordinance as presented for second and third reading.
For the amendment to the county highway regulations?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept ordinance 2026-0-5 as presented Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. We have ordinance 2026-0-6, establishing public utility permits. And there were no amendments to this one as well. If you gentlemen are acceptable, we can do second and third reading of this as well.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the ordinance 2026-0-6, establishing public utility permits as presented. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 3-0. Next ordinance is 2026-0-7, establishing public utility permits as well, not regulated. There were no amendments to this one as well. Am I correct? So we, again, your pleasure. We can do second and third reading if you wish.
So move.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to accept ordinance 2026-0-7, establishing public utility permits not regulated as presented. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 3-0. And the final one is ordinance 2026-0-8, oversized vehicles. This one does have one or two amendments. Is it just one?
Looking who motioned and seconded.
Thought we did we add that same language to that one as well, Andrew?
I'd have to look at it again here.
Yes, it's here. It's under section 1. Under extra heavy-duty vehicles, indoor loads, very bottom paragraph. Yes, that one was. Thought it was. I didn't highlight it.
Yep.
You read the changes.
The change that we added is the same as last. Nothing in this ordinance obligates Indiana law on weight permitted for farm vehicles.
Nothing changes it, nothing abrogates it.
Nope, nope. So they will still follow Indiana state law. Yep.
Gentlemen, you've heard the recommendation.
Make the motion.
I'll second it.
Is that included the amended, correct?
With the amended, yeah. With the new amendment, with second and third reading.
We have the ordinance 2026-0-8, oversized vehicles as amended. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries as the amended contract, ordinance, sorry.
I'd like to make one comment about the ordinances. We did give it 4 weeks roughly. For having been out there, and I had nobody reach out to me about any concerns about it. Put it on record. I made the motion.
Yeah, nor me.
That's why we did the second and third, since I had no concerns or anybody reach out to me.
Yep,
I believe we got them all then. Is that correct?
Yep.
I believe so.
The next ones you're gonna.
Do you have anything else for us, Sir Ben?
I do. I have one other thing real quick to bring up to you guys. So, back this spring, I think it was February, I brought before you guys a contract with USI Consultants for doing County Road 60 between 427 and County Road 427, having a study done down that area, as far as going after some federal aid funds. We have depleted the money that you guys allotted. Actually, it's went over a little bit. And I talked to USI last week, and we are within, they're telling me about $38,000 of finishing that study. So we'll have our stage one plans will be pretty well completed, would be ready to go after federal aid funds in November. And I'd like to proceed with finishing that study in order we have everything lined up to seek federal funds. That would also require going to the council and getting a funding plan established. Until the stage one is complete, the engineer's estimates are gonna be a ballpark. Right now, we're leaning towards probably bridging the whole area. And there again, this is just 100% preliminary number. They're looking like 17 million to bridge that. So the county would have 20% match of that. Would be what, 4.5 million, somewhere in that vicinity. I think the project needs done. I think it's something we ought to continue on. But I didn't know how you guys felt about that and proceeding with the original contract, but spending the rest of the money on it. The total cost would probably end up being $203,000, $204,000 for that whole study for stage one. The rest of stage two and stage three plans, I would submit in with the federal aid grant to try to get 80% refunded. So this would really show that we're dedicated, we're wanting to do it, because we've got this set of stage one. Don't know until we try, but we've got to have some more firm numbers and some more studies complete in order to have a good application. So I wanted to bring it for you guys and see what your thoughts was, and see if we could, you guys could come up and let me finish that. And like I said, they're speculating around $38,000 to finish it from what we've already paid on it. I think we're right around 160's been paid on it so far. So that's what I have. That's where we're at with that study, and see what you guys' thoughts was. Signature time. You know, that road down there, just, I don't know if Terry's very familiar with it, but that road, we gotta close that about every inch of rain we get, because it floods so bad. There was a fatality down there earlier this year as well. So, I mean, it's been a problem area for a lot of years. If I remember correctly, I don't have the report in front of me, but the soil borings down there was showing peats roughly about 50 foot deep. So there's no way to excavate that amount out and put back fill. I know on each side of the small structure, it's been filled enough that the asphalt is 8 foot deep. That's how much that's been filled and been sinking over the years. So we're looking at going to bridge the whole thing through that area. The hydraulics.
427 to the I-69?
Yes. So, but that's the project that we've started, that we've been looking into, trying to come up with a solution to make that a safe, nice travelable corridor. Is that,
Couple questions.
yes, sir.
First, the 34,000, that's the overage of,
No, that's the 38,000 is what we would need. Well, yes, we was over 34. Yes,
pardon me?
we was over 34 because they went ahead and did the soil borings that we did not originally agree to. It was an error on their part. It got completed before I knew about it, and it needed done. I mean, it's not that we didn't get anything out of it. It just,
So we were over 34, and then there's an additional 38 on top of that?
yes. Be a total of 203, 204 right in that area for the whole project.
That's what it would cost the county, or that's,
That would be the total cost out of pocket from day one
For
the
the
engineering.
study?
for the engineering.
for the, yeah, yes.
That's just to get the stage one pretty well complete in order to submit in November if we can get the council to agree with funding.
Okay. Second, is that money in your budget to,
Not right now, it's not, no.
No, and the study part was the part, right? That
Commissioners paid
that
for.
commissioners had agreed to pay for. I don't know what amount it was at that time, but you agree to pay for that part of it so that the project could start moving.
And
If I remember correctly.
I was asked to go ask the council, and I've asked the council and I've never gotten an answer. So each time I've asked, they haven't declined, but they haven't agreed. So
How long would this study be good for?
it would be good for quite a while. It would have to be revised a little bit, but we wouldn't have the money in it we got in it now. It'd be good for a while.
Several years or something?
I'd say so, yeah.
5 or 10 years?
I don't know about 5 or 10 years, but it'd be good for a couple, 2 or 3 years anyway, without having to be revised. They'd have to go through and revise the environmental if we wait too long on things for any changes, and have to do another DNR permit and investigation. And
So if this study gets done, then how soon can you apply for the federal funds?
we could apply, if we give them the go-ahead here soon, they could have this finished, we could apply in November.
But we need to get the agreement from the council to agree that they're willing to match the possibly 4 million.
And that would be,
We'd have to match possibly 4 million from the county to do the project if the project ends up being 17 point whatever he said it would be.
and it'd be 2031 would be construction, so they would have time. But we would have some costs prior to that for the engineering. We'd have 20%, whatever the engineering would be, we'd be paying for. But the main money would be the construction year, just like we did on 56. So if you remember on 56, I don't think Jim was here, they managed the project. So our match, it was roughly 1.2, and then we paid that to the state, one lump sum, and then they manage it with their match. So this project would be about the same. So we'd have to pay our match after the bid, and what the bids come in as, we'd pay our 20%.
Gentlemen, you've heard the recommendation. Comments?
My initial is to see what the council has to say. I mean, if they're gonna have to put 4 million up for the match. If they're not willing to do that, then we're throwing good money after bad.
Yep.
If it's not gonna last that long.
I could get a definite on that, but I know there's going to be some revisions to it we'd have to for environmental and things. I'm sure of that. But since the initial work would be done,
So it wouldn't be like they'd be redoing it.
no, oh no. Because a lot of it won't change, just the environmental.
So how much you asking for?
Wait and see if council's gonna.
If we want to finish it, he's telling me it's going to be around 38,000.
My comment is that in another year and a half, the lighted funds that commissioners have are gone away. And so for the commissioners to put up 4 million probably isn't gonna happen. We won't have the funds. We just won't.
I understand
Unless
that.
the state legislature changes their policy and changes a lot more than I think they're gonna change. But
Sure.
as of right now, that's what we have to go on, is this is gonna be a council issue. And obviously, and I'm not speaking for the other two, but I certainly wanted to improve our roads, and that's certainly a place that needs it. And if we're gonna improve roads, council's gonna have to start taking the lead on this on these projects. It's the way I see it, because our funds are
I
gonna
understand.
disappear. I mean,
But, I got to bring it to you guys in order to move forward, so that's what I'm doing.
But I'm fine with moving it forward on this one. We've already spent how much on it already?
Around 160, I think.
So if we finish out the report, at least we have the report ready to go. It just might be updated a little bit in the future. At least we have the general hard engineering stuff already taken care of and done. So I'm fine with making the motion to go ahead and give up to $38,000 out of our lighted fund for Ben to finish out this project, with the knowledge that no more money will be coming from us on this project. It needs to come from the council.
Sounds reasonable.
We have a motion and a second to pay the $38,000 to move forward with the engineering as presented. Any other questions or comments?
Yes.
Anyone from the audience? Hearing no one, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
When I go to the council to ask for this match fund, it'd be nice if I could have one of you along with me. That way we can show our dedication to the project.
Just let me know. I can go. If you guys don't mind, I'll be there. I can go.
I think it's good, especially since there's been some accidents down there. I mean, we're doing our best due diligence, and the ball stops with them. I hope not, but the commissioners and the highway's done our best due diligence to improve it. So I think it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe that's all I have for you guys. So unless you have anything else for me this morning.
I am concerned. Commissioner's been giving the highway department $1 million a year out of the lighted funds, which are going to disappear. And yes, I feel like the commissioners, past and present, are doing the best to help in our road situation.
I agree 100%.
But that's all going to change, and it'll be out of our wheel. We won't be able to.
Yeah, I hope, hopefully the council will see that and support that. There again, all we can do is the best we can do and recommend and ask, the four of us here. So that's what I plan on doing, and whatever they tell us is what we'll have to deal with, I suppose.
I understand. Thank you for the job you do.
I appreciate it.
That's it?
Okay. We're chip sealing today.
Chip seal.
Yep.
We have a little bit of time before 9 o'clock. You want to tackle the payroll approval?
Sure. I'll make a motion to accept payroll.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept payroll approval as presented. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. We have the claims for approval. Would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the claims as presented. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And we have the minutes for approval, which I'm going to lean on our legal.
Yes, so I think you're the only one that was there at the meeting, and one person is not enough to pass the minutes. So I've always taken the position that when needed, that people that were not in attendance at the meeting can vote on it. Otherwise, you would be forever unable to approve the minutes, and I don't believe there's any law that prohibits that. I think there's common pattern of people not voting on the minutes when they weren't at the meeting, but I don't know of any legal absolute prohibition against it. So in times of necessity, my advice is go ahead and vote on minutes, because as the body, you're saying this is what happened, and your minutes are your only way to speak, typically speaking. It's not just what you say in the meetings, it's what actually gets typed up and approved later. So this is your only way to speak from that meeting. So I would advise you, both of you can vote as, plus I think both of you actually watched the meeting, which if that ever came down to it, I think you were there, Terry, and you were maybe watching online.
Having said that, since I was there, I will make the motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as approved, as presented. Any other questions or comments?
My comment is I did watch the video, and so I'm okay with voting for yes on it.
Okay. Anything else? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. It probably wouldn't hurt to have in the minutes that Kellen was absent and Terry's the new board member, and at least it's on record that way. We still have, are you, if you're ready. Either way, just make, welcome this morning.
Morning. I'm here today in regards to a contract with Eastern Engineering. It's in regards to a large printer for blueprints, things of that sort, for our septic person. We have files that are absolutely stuffed, and we're trying to go paperless. But then also Kathy has not had the ability to copy those blueprints to make notes for future. I mean, she makes notes, but the blueprint, she would like to be able to get that from people and be able to scan it and put it into our an electronic system so that we can start freeing up some space in that department. So I'm not sure if you have any questions about that.
Andrew?
Yes, I looked over that contract. I believe Eastern Engineering is also the contract that Lita has with the Recorder's Office.
Yes.
The only comments that I had was they had, I think, 72 hours to cure any default, and I requested that be 30 days, because if there is some default and we have to have a commissioners meeting about it to authorize something, and I believe they changed it to 30 days, didn't they?
They did.
Yes. The only other thing is just be aware that there's, they could escalate costs 7% per year, but that's not necessarily unreasonable. Some cost escalation is included in certain contracts, so if you're comfortable with that, I'm comfortable with it from a legal perspective.
Gentlemen? Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Yes, sir.
think we have, I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, Susan, but don't we have a contract with, through IT for like planning departments, surveyor's office? We have our big scanners, but I think we already have.
Well, I
only
did
have the
contact
3 on
IT.
it.
I'm sorry?
We only have the 3 on that one. These are separate.
Oh,
Yeah, because I did reach out to IT.
and they can't add anything to us? To ours?
They evidently not, because they told me to get a hold of Eastern Engineering, and I had them come to the office and make sure that they
Yeah.
could fit it in like a
Yeah.
closet that we have there. But I didn't even know that
I'm
those.
surprised we can't, I would hate for the county to do another contract for another company when we have a contract already for 3 plotters. I don't know why they wouldn't be able to do the others. I don't want to hold you up, but I think it's just redundancy in contracts that make no sense to me when we're
I had
doing this.
nowhere, I had.
I can go ask Besa real quick if you want.
Yes. Well, I had a couple questions on it. We can do, we're waiting.
If you want to go all the way to the bottom, there is a preparedness,
The health grant?
yeah. The
Health preparedness grant contract approval?
preparedness, the very last
Oh,
thing,
okay.
yeah. We can, I don't know, if Cheryl wants to talk about it since she's
Okay.
waiting.
So this grant, there's been some confusion this year. Typically, the state would notify me and let me know that it was coming, and then I would reach out to Dr. Souter and have him sign. Well, they sent it directly to him, and he signed it dutifully. Took me years to get him to do things dutifully like that. Unfortunately, it didn't make it here to get the approval I had. Since then, I've approached the state, and there's been a conversation with Susan and Andrew and I with the state. We're trying to help them understand that there are certain things that have to happen so that things are done correctly at the county level. After numerous emails, Susan jumped in and put an email in about this long explaining everything that has to happen here. And they're working on their processes. And I did notify Dr. Souter never to sign anything again without notifying me. And then it's also been decided that Susan mentioned that at the, I think it was at her conference, that they want the commissioners signing all contracts. So from now on, the auditor will do that. And I marked a note in my planner to speak with Holly after the first of the year and see if maybe we can make sure that it's a smooth process next year. And the state assured me that they are working to inform everyone and make a new plan on their end too, so that things like this don't happen again.
So in this instance, do the commissioners, well, number one, I presume the commissioners need to.
If you approve it, you need to retroactively approve it, you know, what Dr. Souter signed, just so that I think for the State Board of Accounts, you guys have actually reviewed it now. Even if he signed it ahead of time, you can still review it and vote on it.
Okay. But as far as commissioners signing it,
I mean, it'd be good to have you sign
Well, it's a
something, but-
DocuSign,
So it's already been signed.
so they won't,
that's
I
right.
mean,
Yeah.
I can have them sign.
I think you should, yes, I think you
Here.
should have Jim sign as president if that's what it takes.
I mean, they
At
won't
least to
get
have it in
it.
the file. They may not have it at the state level, but you'll have it in the file that you sign. Does that make sense, Susan? In case the State Board of Accounts audits that part of it, they can see that we went through the process and you signed it.
heard a recommendation, gentlemen.
I'll make the motion to have the commissioner president sign.
Have a motion and a second to allow the president to sign the health preparedness grant contract as presented. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
There you go. That makes sense, and I can understand how Dr. Souter might just sign it. It
I
makes
took
sense.
a lot of training to get
Yes.
him to do that.
Yes, no, that,
And then it was wrong.
yeah. It makes sense how that happened. Makes sense.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, Chris, what you got?
He said he's gonna email you guys about those contracts. The reason I think he directed you to go to Eastern Engineering was because the recorder's office did. But I think for Lita, that's a different animal because her funds that she collects, I think have to be used for
Yes.
various contracts. So,
She did tell me it was different for her, but
Yeah.
I didn't know what she meant.
yeah, I think it's because of how she collects her money and how she has to spend that money. So he said he was gonna email the commissioners about our Eastern Engineering thing. But in the meantime, I don't care what they do, obviously, but if she wants to use our plotter, we scan and we can set that up for her to,
Well, it's
Use it.
not
She
just
needs to-
the stuff that's coming in. Oh, you mean until then?
yeah,
Yes, thank you.
yeah.
And, yes, we're excited. We have
Yeah.
one area of our department that's gone paperless,
Yeah.
so we're moving on.
And we are too, and a lot of companies too will email us their large prints because sometimes when you scan too, the PDF of the actual AutoCAD file or whatever they're doing it in is smaller than scanning the actual image. So to not bog down our file size, we ask them to send it to us in a PDF versus us scanning in 24 by 36 prints. So you may have people start doing that. I know it's difficult to do because people usually bring the prints in and it's easier just to get them at that time. But yeah, we try to get people to email us PDFs versus us scanning. It's just smaller. So, but he's gonna look into that for you, and I think it can be easily under the IT contract versus you guys
Doing
doing
my
it
own,
and
and
budgeting
I'm-
out of your own money.
I'm more than willing.
Yeah,
I just didn't realize that that was an option.
sorry, bring that
No,
up.
no, that's fine.
No, good to know this information. Gentlemen,
Say we table it for now.
Okay. So do you notify me the next time you meet, or how will I
We'll
know?
talk to Beza and see how that kind of works itself out, and then we'll let you know.
Okay, that sounds good. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. Any other questions for me?
No.
All righty.
Kellen, is that a motion to table?
Motion to table, yes.
All right.
a motion and a second to table a item until a future meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you,
you.
appreciate that. You guys have a wonderful day.
You too.
thank you, and you as well. Chris, are you ready?
You can stay for mine, Cheryl. Morning, again.
Good morning.
I have before you, I think we'll do the Lakewood Park Christian School at 5555 County Road 29, the zone map amendment first. Kind of what triggered this is they are in the process of phased development for sports fields. Right now they have a permit for a tennis court, a couple tennis courts along County Road 31, kind of right north of that blue property line. But anyway, a lot of their property that you'll see is zoned for low-density residential, which does not allow for the expansion of their facility. In our institutional zoning district, it allows for schools, K through 12. So with that, as you'll see through on page 4 there, the existing zoning, kind of that grayed out area surrounding or within the yellow outline perimeters is the R1 zoning district. And then kind of the school, that purple is the institutional zoning district. So basically what we've proposed here is that all the property that they own be zoned institutional, would allow them for expansion without having to potentially go to the Board of Zoning Appeals as a use variance, which is difficult to prove. And the development here, be consistent with what they are. Our future land use map there on page 5, the blue is community use, which allows for the underlying zoning district of institutional. So it's conforming with the future land use map. On page 6 there just shows what the new zoning district would be. All that purple being the institutional zoning district. So we did have a public hearing on June 17th with a unanimous favorable recommendation to the county commissioners. I don't even believe anyone was in the audience. I can't remember a month ago, but I don't believe anyone was in the audience either.
Just Lakewood.
Just Lakewood representatives were there for the public hearing. So no one against the proposed rezone, and a unanimous favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission to you guys.
Questions or comments? I do have one quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Page 6, I'll call it the north end there along
Yep.
County Road 52. Why would that have not been included if that's part of their property?
So that's Auburn's extraterritorial jurisdiction. They have, the city sewer goes along that area, so that 300-foot buffer is an automatic in our extraterritorial jurisdiction, so that's what that is.
Even if it's connected to the rest of the land?
Yep.
Auburn, so
It's
if
just
they want
kind of
to change it to institutional, they would need to petition Auburn for that strip.
Theoretically, yes, but it already is.
It already is
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
institutional? Okay,
yeah.
great.
They don't have city water here, so that's why the entire property is not in institutional. Terry, for your information, we have extraterritorial jurisdictions with Auburn, Garrett, Butler, St. Joe, Waterloo, Hamilton. And they allow for their planning and zoning to have jurisdiction outside of their municipal boundaries.
Usually about a mile or two around it.
2 is the maximum the state code allows for. But for most of the areas that we have, we allow for areas that are connected to city sewer and water. They can automatically be within that ETJ area. And so this has Auburn sewer, but not Auburn water. That's what that buffer's there for. Good question there, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, you should have the.
Now, gentlemen, you've heard the recommendation. I'm sorry, one quick, this is resolution, it doesn't have a number.
Or should.
Resolution 2026-R-6, ordinance UDO-103.
Dash 6?
Yep.
Do we have to have the rest of that? No.
I'll make a motion to, favorable motion to rezone that.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to accept resolution 2026-R6 as presented with the recommendation, favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission. Is there any other questions or comments? Anyone in the audience? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Yes, sir.
Next one, kind of in the same realm, when we were reviewing this development plan for the tennis courts, our ordinance only allows for fences to be 4 feet tall. And obviously you need fences around tennis courts, baseball fields, maybe football fields, I don't know. Anyway, what we didn't have was an exemption for sports fields to have fences taller than 4 feet. So with that, we proposed just a minor ordinance change to our development standards within our institutional commercial and our airport commercial districts only, that an exemption, and this is on page 2 under B number 4, fence and wall heights may be increased where required by federal or state provision, or when located around a sports field, sports court, or sports facility that necessitates, there we go, necessitates such enclosure. So that way, you know, when we have projects coming around institutional, commercial, or airport districts that allow for sports fields, they can have the height that we need for that, safety reasons and stuff, so. Again, went to Plan Commission on June 17th with a unanimous favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission.
Well, gentlemen, you've heard the recommendation. Again, we have a number.
7.
7. Thank you.
Yep.
You've heard the recommendation.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to accept resolution 2026-R7 as presented. Are there any other comments or questions? Anyone in the audience? Hearing no one, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Anything else, sir?
All I got.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it always. Do these, both of these have to go to second and third reading? No, no, okay.
Since there's no fees involved.
We move down to the, well, no. Do you wish to speak on Sunny Meadows? Welcome, Mr. Knox. Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
I have two items today. For the Sunny Meadows Advisory Committee, we need to install another candidate for an open position. Cindy Fogelsong will not be able to carry on. And we would like to have William Rourke Jr. on, also known as Billy of Billy Bugs Buster. Took me a while to find his last name, so but we finally got it. Billy, after working there, really kind of fell into the project. He likes it a lot. He's a hard worker, and he has good ideas, and I think he'd make a great addition to the committee. So I wanted to bring it before you, and get your opinions on it, and hopefully get him installed.
I have one question on that.
Sure.
I believe that is with the Billy's Bug Busters, and I don't know if there will be a conflict since we are paying them to do all the.
Is there a continued contract then with them, potentially, or?
He has fulfilled his contract right now with fumigation. So any
There
other.
could be future fumigation.
But that's the thing is, and that was the second point I wanted to talk about too. He's one of the better contractors out there too, and I would hate to lose that, but I would rather have him on the committee and then have him lose that. So selfish on my end.
I mean, I think if there was any current payments going on, yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, Susan.
I haven't paid yet.
You haven't paid yet?
I haven't gotten an invoice. I have a quote, I don't have an invoice.
Yeah, but
He
the
hasn't
work's
paid it,
been
it could be
completed.
We can delay it. We can wait a little bit.
Yeah.
We know
Talk to
who's,
him maybe about getting his bill in,
That'd be a wise idea.
because I think there could be a conflict of, this is not a paid committee position though, right? So,
Is not.
Right.
they don't have any say with the contracts. They come to us anyways. It's a recommendation.
so maybe, I mean, I'm glad Susan brought it up. I'm not, if they're not in control of their money,
Right, and they're not. Just for
I'm glad
clarity,
you brought it
I
up.
wondered.
It's important to bring that stuff up.
Whose appointment was that?
You guys did them all.
But we each got two
Cindy was,
bills.
Do we wait?
I would be comfortable waiting for the invoice to be put in, paid, and then, then putting them on that board,
Yeah.
is my
I think it would
personal
look
feelings.
better.
Yeah,
Motion, if it's not a direct conflict of interest, it would look better.
So we'll just,
not a motion, it's just we'll just table it. Right, we don't need it.
you're gonna motion to table. You need a motion one way or the other.
I'll motion to table it.
I'll second it.
we have a motion and a second to table the added new person to the Sunny Meadows Committee. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Will be tabled.
Very good. Now, at item 2, we are, after fumigation, we are ready to clear the contents out of the building. And our goal was to do this with little cost to the county, maximum respect to really the people that lived there before and their contents. And our first choice was to have an auction, and there's just so little value out there that we were going to have to pay a fee basically to have the auctioneer come in and do that, and we were still going to be left with a lot of leftover contents to deal with after that. We came up with a second choice, is to have an open house and invite the public in to take items, and I think that is going to lead to the same thing. We'll have a lot of items left over we're going to have to pay to do anyway. So we're kind of looking for guidance from you guys as to how we clean the contents of this building out. So that's what I'm here before you today, is to get your thoughts, and maybe we can come to a process to get this thing cleaned out.
I'll talk to that a little bit. When we were discussing tearing it down a while ago, about a year or so ago, this was a issue that we had to tackle also. Talking to, and I can contest, a lot of the auctioneers will not do just the contents in there. The ones that I did finally get to bid on it was involving the stoves and all the appliances, knowing that it was going to possibly be tore down. But if it wasn't going to include that, they didn't want anything to do with it because it's very little value with the items that are in the basement. Most of them are just like old Christmas ornaments and old shoes, clothes, board games are missing pieces, just stuff that just kind of accumulated over the years, over the decades. My bigger issue is, yes, we have had fumigated, yes, we do have treated for bed bugs and whatever else is down there. To me, the historians already went through it, correct?
Correct.
The county historians went through, got any historical contents that would be out there. The rest of it's to me. I would just say to go ahead and throw it away, to give the county legal, because if we give it to somebody else and then they get bed bugs or something like that, they can come back on us. Even though they know, it still would open us up to a lawsuit. So there's plenty of companies out there. My company does it. I will not bid on it for conflict of interest. But there's plenty of companies you can hire that are pretty cheap that just take a dumpster out there and dump it all. Or we can even have Larry pay for a roll-off dumpster out there and have Larry and them dump it too, if he's comfortable with it. So with the bed bugs, I mean, that'd be something compensation. But knowing the contents out there, there's not much value there. So my personal recommendation would just to not open up the county to a lawsuit. It's just to dispose of it properly.
I'm assuming anything historical or the value has already been removed?
Yeah, she found 2 blueprints in the basement, and, no, that was up in the second floor. There was a couple of blueprints, one of HVAC of a remodel, and I'm not quite sure what the other one was, but she's gone through it.
Before we sunset, we had the staff out there go through it, a lot of it, and pull out the valuable stuff at the time too. So what's left behind has been picked through a couple of times already at this point.
Now, we do have some appliances out there that can be useful. Like if a nonprofit would like a appliance, is that going to be something we could do?
I'm okay with appliances. I was talking more of the contents in the little rooms.
Yes.
There's what?
There's a couple of refrigerators, there's a washer, there's a dryer, there's a lot of freezers down below, and I think that's going to be more scrap than anything else, and there's a lot of metal in there that can be scrapped out, so I think we could have a dumpster for scrap, scrap metal, and then another dumpster for let's just call it trash.
I think scrap, the statutes allow us to get rid of scrap, but you as commissioners actually kind of control the personal property that's in there. You have to be careful how so I think you can do intergovernmental transfers if another governmental agency wanted the refrigerators or the stoves. I think giving it to even a nonprofit can be problematic, giving it for whatever fair market value is. Mm-hmm. Scrap, though, I think is, as I understand the statute, scrap is, you're allowed to scrap stuff out if it's just got basically negligible value.
Because we'll end up with wheelchairs, there'll be exercise equipment that's metal, there's going to be bicycles that are metal, walkers, there's going to be a lot of metal that can go into a recycle.
We can scrap the metal. The washer and dryer are fairly-ish new.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
Refrigerator.
And the refrigerator upstairs.
Yeah, there's 2 refrigerators in there, and then there's a medical refrigerator in there that it looks expensive.
Probably is.
Yeah. Medical stuff, like library stuff, they just don't give that away.
I have to reach out to the health department about that.
Cheryl to look at that medical one. There's different parameters on temperatures that it has to keep and
Yeah.
yada, yada, yada.
And it has a lock on it as well, too, so
She,
it's secure.
She's purchased a few of them over the years.
As the corrections, they don't do
They were out there. When they were still, right when we got sunsetted, we had community corrections come out there and grab some of the old food and cooking supplies and stuff like that for their use. So they didn't say anything about the medical, but I didn't ask them either.
I don't know if we offered it to them.
I don't know if we did either. Can't remember.
maybe it wouldn't, I can contact Michelle and,
Well, she's gonna be in here at 10:45. We can ask her then. It's up to you guys what you wanna do. The deep freezers are fairly old.
Oh, I think they're gonna be, they work, but
One thing I think it was to be the washer and dryer, the fridge in the kitchen.
there's
that
two
medical fridge.
refrigerators, one in the, well, you've got that, actually, there's three refrigerators. You've got the big refrigerator in the kitchen.
The big one's leaking.
That one's leaking?
We had the issue with the leaking from Home Depot. We decided to take the refund knowing that we were gonna be sunsetting it. So it is leaking, so that is not a very good refrigerator.
Okay, and then there's two small ones. One was in the director's office, and then there's another one. Where is that?
It's in the kitchen too. It's where they have the snacks for the residents at. Those two refrigerators, the one in the office, one in the kitchen, not the big one in the kitchen. That one needs to be scrapped because it's leaking.
Okay,
And then the washer and dryer. So you have two fridges and a washer and dryer, and then the medical fridge is really all I can think of out there that
yeah, I
would
think
have
that's
any
a
value of any sort that could be reused.
I think if you decided to sell an item to a nonprofit and they were purchasing it, then I think we would be okay. And as far as I know, I have not seen anything on a specific value that it has to be, but
Wasn't it like 500? Like 500 was the number that
We'd have
when we, Susan and I went down this rabbit hole about a year ago, trying to figure out what to do with all these things, and it was getting very complicated. So,
We found the same thing. It's getting
yeah, it's
complicated.
more complicated than you think it is by the statutes of the law and stuff. So,
But we would
Unless we
have to
give it to
revisit
somebody.
that. Yeah, I've done a few different other things since we looked
Yeah.
at all that, so we would have to revisit that,
how
but
much money do we have in the Sunny Meadows budget right now? I know we put a little bit in there for whatever we needed this year to transition it out.
I can tell you. We have 286,000 unspent. I still pay some of the utilities
and stuff,
from
yeah.
there.
My idea would be to go ahead and get a dumpster and then see if Larry's willing to throw away all the items except for the two fridges in the kitchen and the office, the medical fridge, and the washer and dryer.
Okay.
Everything else just be thrown away.
All
And
right.
then, or scrapped.
And those scrapped, okay.
So allow Chuck and the committee to work with Larry on that and whatever bids that Larry comes up with. And then until we figure out what we're gonna do with those two fridges, the medical fridge and the washer and dryer.
so, quick question, Andrew. If there's a nonprofit that would like, I don't, washer dryer, if we sold it to them for $1 to make it a legal transaction, does that still put us at risk if they buy it as is?
It's been a little while, just like Susan said, that we've.
Yeah, we-
I think there is a problem with that, yes. I mean, I think the idea is that public entities are not supposed to be giving stuff away, even if it's to a good cause. It's the public taxpayers' money, so I think just have to be careful how that's done and.
We'd have to do it
how we're
as
gonna do
I
it.
think
reasonable market value.
We'd
It has to
have
be at market value.
It might have to be not specified to one, like it might have to be like
An auction or.
offer, yeah, like offered to whoever wants to.
Offer it to it.
Yeah,
It's
Well, we
much
need to
more
revisit
complicated. I mean, the three of us, we
Much more
talked
complicated.
months about this, to be honest.
It's very complicated.
It should be simple for something like this where you've got stuff that's barely above scrap value, but it isn't. It still has, there's these requirements that they have.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments for Mr. Knox? Mr. Knox, anything?
So, I'm sorry.
Yep, no.
Okay, so are you guys all agreeing to what Kellen is wanting to do? Because we probably should have a motion that you're directing the committee to do X, Y, Z.
Thank you, Susan.
Give me until after the break. Let me talk to Larry during break and then come back to this. And I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I'm scheduled in 2 weeks still to come back. We've got some other things, some contractual stuff I'd like to go over too, so we can address this in 2 weeks as well, so. but we're sitting kind of dead in the water until then, so.
Yeah, let me talk to Larry during break at 10:30, see what
All
he's
right.
comfortable with, and then I'll make a motion.
Okay, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate all your effort. Excuse me. We can start on the rest of the discussion, miscellaneous. Andrew, would you like to address the Baymont Hotel first?
Yes, so, the county commissioners have authorized me to file suit against Baymont Hotel, which we did because they had not paid the innkeeper's tax. And we had filed suit, I believe it was maybe the beginning of last year, had to pursue it all the way to judgment. And in fact, we had to go through the collections process and basically threaten to attach their office assets, computers, et cetera, and then we got paid. In this situation, my understanding is they are going through the sale process to sell, and they had I believe they had an attorney reach out to me and maybe somebody else as well, and they decided to pay for it because then that, I think, clears off their, ownership title to the hotel or contents. It takes a cloud off of the transaction potentially that might have been there. So they have paid, and they paid a substantial amount of the attorney fees. I mean, everything that we said for them to, or asked for them to pay, and the amount that would have been in the judgment. So I believe it's appropriate for us to dismiss the case, but I don't want to do that without getting your approval first. So I guess I would just be looking for a motion and a vote on dismissing the case, and then I can do that.
Do you know much about this, Terry?
Real quick. Heather, are they still paid up? Okay.
Wait, come to the microphone so everybody can hear. Thank you, thank you.
And is the light on?
No, it is.
Thank you.
It's my first time.
You're fine.
Okay, so I'm Heather Haynes. I'm First Deputy of the Treasurer's Office, and so the information I have on this is that they are current. We received certified funds, $3,672.58, which $3,372 was late fees plus attorney fees. So that took care of that. They also had a replacement payment for their April innkeepers that we did receive for $3,492.96. We had to get a replacement check because we have to take certified funds from them. We will no longer accept personal checks from them. So they are current at this time, and I'm in agreement with Andrew to go ahead and dismiss the case.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Are you versed in the history of the Baymont? Okay, just want to make sure.
Yep.
So. I was kind of the one that kind of pushed for the lawsuit. I'll be the one that says that they paid up and where fair is fair, and so I will make the motion to drop the lawsuit.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to dismiss the lawsuit as presented. Are there any other questions or comments? Anyone in the public? Hearing no one. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried, 3-0.
Okay, we'll get that suit
You
dismissed.
said that's in the process of being sold then?
That's my understanding, yes, that they're getting ready to get things cleared to be able to allow a sale, which hopefully will be better for the innkeeper's tax process.
Amen. MOU Auburn Lions Club?
Actually, Jim, I'm sorry. Can I interrupt for 1 second?
Yes, please.
Since we're on this dismissing part, can we do the other one or two or whatever that he had? He's got one for,
Oh, okay.
Yes, I have one for Rebecca Caldwell case. Rebecca Caldwell was the last resident at Sunny Meadows, and there were just some situations, it was difficult for her to process mentally having to leave. And Kellen worked really hard to get that to be as smooth and carrying a process as possible. We did have to file for eviction to get an order, but we don't want that eviction to necessarily have to stay on her record. And my understanding from Judge, I believe it was Judge Jessup,
Yes.
said that if we dismissed our case, it would act sort of as an expungement of the eviction. And so what happens is if you have an eviction on your record, it can stop you from getting Section 8 housing.
Yep.
And that can just dog a person, I think, for a number of years. And we have no desire, at least the commissioners didn't have any desire to do that. It was just a super tough situation. And Kellen worked really hard to get this to be smooth. And so if you'd be okay with it, if you vote and authorize me to dismiss that case, I can do a motion to dismiss and hopefully get that cleared up.
Are you familiar with this situation? So we had our last resident at Sunny Meadows was not understanding that the Sunny Meadows was being sunsetted, and it was adamantly refusing to leave. We had the sheriff's department go out there, and we had Parkview Behavioral Health go out there, and they did a fantastic job explaining the situation to her, taking her in, and then finding a new home. And she's, from what I understand, is pretty content and happy where she's at now.
Oh, good.
From last I heard, but this has been months, so it could have changed by then. But so to the process of we had to do a lawsuit for an eviction due to the fact that she was adamantly refusing to leave. So we had to go through the laws of it.
But given the situation, it was nothing against her personally. It's just one of those things.
She was the last
People have
resident too.
issues sometimes.
She was the last one there holding, so I was the one that pushed the lawsuit. Again, I will be the one to say, go ahead and dismiss it. That's my motion.
All right, I'll second it.
A motion and a second to dismiss the pending lawsuit as well. Is there any other discussion or questions? Anyone from the audience?
Thank you, gentlemen, for being willing to do that.
Very much so. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Okay. And then, the only other thing that I had as far as, I just want to make a note before I forget to do, write down this issue. The only other thing is we are pursuing a lawsuit against Ronald Rodman, and we are having difficulties finding an address for him. The only address that we have, or that I believe the county has, is that lot, and there isn't a house out there. There does appear to be maybe a tent, and we got a video of some people actually being out at that site. What I'd like to do is ask for the permission to use a private investigator if the sheriff can't find anybody at that site to serve. I mean, I think I talked to my paralegal, Rachel, about having the sheriff's office asking them to serve it at that residence. But as far as actually trying to find another place where they're living, it's going to probably take a private investigator, potentially. The other option would be to do notice by newspaper, but I'd rather try the private investigator first. And judges, I think, appreciate it when you do your best to find the defendant to serve them directly. The cost could be somewhere, I would estimate, maybe $200 or $300, or not that, $100 or $200 possibly to do it. So kind of minimal cost if we can find it. If the private investigator can't, then we'll have to do notice by newspaper.
Gentlemen, you've heard the recommendation.
We'll try sheriff first, then if you guys authorize it, private investigator, then newspaper.
Does the sheriff's already have a private investigator that they use on a regular basis?
No, I don't believe so. They have their detectives, but that's not their job to necessarily go. So it's kind of a fine line there. The sheriff's office is not set up to be a private investigator service, even for the county per se, just for criminal matters typically. They do serve process, but they're not required to go search for somebody. They're just required under the processes to attempt service at a home, place it on the front door, and also mail it. The problem is there's no real home here.
This is a property that before the commissioners at least twice, I believe, if not
Well, yeah, it's
Very long time.
more, yeah, maybe longer than that.
Yeah, that needs cleaned up. Then you just heard, it's not been an easy process. The daughter lives in Milwaukee, wasn't it?
Michigan or
I think it's Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's somewhere
Yeah, and far away, and
out of state.
he's been here before the court, and it's just going nowhere. So we want the property cleaned up to meet county specs, then we're having to take the next step. I mean, I don't believe any of us want to do that, but it's not a good situation either for the county.
What's your thoughts, Chris?
Chris Gallmer agrees.
Usually
Not a
when you serve
microphone.
somebody, you know where they live, but here, the house isn't there, so it's a little, it's more difficult than normal in trying to serve notice of the case against him. But for, constitutional purposes, people have a right to know about the case.
And he's just not even been responsive to his, when he was, when the property was for sale with his realtor, right, Andrew?
He was, I don't know that he was responsive. The problem was the listing price that he was requiring was higher than what I think anybody would pay.
Right, but even responding to her was difficult for him. So I think he's just aloof, and we need to find him and serve him with the paperwork needed, so. The other option is we drop the case, and the property will stay as is, which is a mess, and we get complaints, especially from passerbys and people that live across the street from there.
Isn't it pretty close to the town, or the city of Garrett?
Yep.
So,
Yep. And that Heritage Point, or whatever that subdivision is to the south there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Either we follow the ordinance or not, so the ordinance states that it needs to be done, he's not doing it, so I make the motion to authorize Andrew.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second to allow Andrew to hire a private investigator if needed to move this case forward. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
thank you, gentlemen.
Anything else at this time, Andrew?
I don't believe so.
Okay. The MOU over in Lions Club? I'm sorry.
No, you're right, 1 second. Okay. So the Lions Club, let me remember, they came in asking
Sell some oranges.
to sell oranges.
Sell oranges.
To sell some oranges. And so Attorney Cruz wrote up a MOU between the county and Lions Club. So kind of like the one that we did with DABA or the farmer's market.
Farmer's market.
This was going to be in December, was it?
At some point, yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't got the exact date yet, because they gotta wait for when they're gonna get the oranges shipped in.
I think I tried to leave it flexible on what the dates would be.
Yeah. I'll make the motion to accept, or,
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept the MOU as presented. Any other questions or comments? Anyone from the public?
come buy some oranges in December.
Pardon me?
Come buy oranges in December.
Yeah. Hearing no one else, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Just hope the oranges don't freeze. Right. We'll have frozen orange juice. Okra compliance form approval.
Yes, so, we are the pass-through entity for the Okra grant dollars for the, St. Joe Spencerville sewer project. And, so there's different requirements that go through the process. This is one of them. It's just a compliance form. And we are contracted with Klein Peter Consulting that makes sure all of this is done on time correctly and that we don't lose the funding. So he's just asking for approval and for Jim to sign this form so that he can send it in and meet our requirements.
St. Joe Sewer District, which was Kellen and I's very first meeting, was a very contentious meeting. And the sewer district has moved forward. Correct me, Kellen, if I'm wrong, excuse me, but sewer district had the same rate for 23 years. They did not raise their rate for 23 years. Therefore, they all of a sudden had tanks that were expanding and contracting. As it rained, they would push in on the sides. I think they had cracks in the steel from it, and it was.
They were concerned about even emptying out for it to collapse. They did do one rate increase, Andrew, like 2-3 years ago? They did a small one, but overall, they haven't increased their rates in a long time until they needed to pay for this new sewer.
Yeah, it was just something that I think that everybody meant well, but kind of kicked the can down until the point that the
And about collapsed in
the equipment and apparatus was near failure condition if they didn't do this.
Anyway, the commissioners did vote to approve the rate increase so they could do the project and everything that went forward with that. And they are still in the process of doing the construction on it. Had that failed, my understanding was that every house and every business would immediately close because they wouldn't have sewer and they would all be condemned. So it was.
And they no longer would have their own septic systems, presumably, for most of them. So, yeah.
The commissioners also helped out. They have some transfer station sub pumps that are having problems. We gave them $250 to fix one of them too.
Yeah.
We're trying to help out the best we can down there. So
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to accept.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept this grant as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried 3-0. Am I supposed to sign this?
Yeah, at the bottom
Chief elected?
left, yeah, I think I have your name typed.
Oh, okay, yep. Thank you. Carol's at the courthouse.
Mr. Doublestein from the high school has reached out. We had carols in the courthouse last year, and it seemed to be very well received. And he has reached out early this year and is asking if they could come back and do a performance on December 11th at 7 p.m.
So quickly, this DeKalb High School asked to come into the courthouse it was after hours, it was in the evening.
Yep.
We had to have Sheriff's Department here, correct?
Yeah.
So we'll have to
We'll have to just get them scheduled. I mean, it's July, so
yeah,
they should kind of find some.
the sheriff was allowed a deputy to be here, and I wasn't able to attend. I had a grandkid thing that night, but sounded like it was very well accepted and enjoyed. So,
Before doing it again.
yeah, I think it's a great thing. So, it's just a little history behind what went on. Was that a motion?
Sure. I'll make the motion to accept, allow the carols to come back in.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept a high school choir performance as presented on whatever date that was,
December 11th.
December 11th. Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried 3-0. Covered bridge certification.
Yes, every year we have to have all of the commissioners approve this covered bridge certification. It's just saying, it's a state form that we have to send to the comptroller's office. Just verifying that we have one covered bridge.
I would entertain a motion to certify that we have one covered bridge.
Move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the certification as presented. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Do we want to tackle the St. Joe EGT? EJT?
If you want, we had.
ETJ.
ETJ, yeah. We had another opening that we needed to appoint someone, and after a million emails between Chris and I and Angela, they have found one, Wyatt Brown, says he's an independent and resides in the county, and that he does qualify for the position.
We need to have it to be an independent or Democrat, because you can't have too many
Right.
from the one political party.
Correct.
I thank Chris for finding this gentleman.
We just confirmed his candidacy.
I would so ask for a motion and a second.
Also move.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the new appointment to the ETJ appointment to St. Joe Board as presented. Any questions or comments? Anyone in the audience? Hearing no one, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 3-0. We have 3 tax sale Auburn parcels.
Give me 1 second. Okay, so just so everybody's aware, that St. Joe appointment, the initial is just for 1 year, and then it will go to 4 years.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, so it was discovered that 3 parcels were sold at a tax sale, and they actually were, they were sold at tax sale under the ownership of unknown, because we didn't know who owns them. There's multiple properties like that. And then it was discovered by Auburn that they actually owned those parcels, and so we did research, and clear back in 1985 or something, there was an error in the transfer office that did not transfer those parcels correctly. They only transferred 1 of the 3 on a deed and 1 of another one on the other deed. So they had been sold. Attorney Cruz has been in contact with the buyer. The buyer is more than willing to deed the parcels to the city, but obviously we need to refund them their money that they paid, because they're now not getting anything. So I'm just seeking approval that you will allow me to move forward with sending their money back.
I think it's arguable Susan might have the ability to do that anyway as part of the
I
tax
do.
sale process, but I suggested to her it'd be good to get it reviewed by you guys since it's $3,000.
How much is it?
So
3,000?
total will be $3,031.91.
I'll make the motion to refund the person that bought the properties for $3,000. And it's good work for you guys finding the error, and thank you for talking to the gentleman about helping us correct that problem.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to, how should I say this? Refund the
3 parcels.
3 parcel, the monies to the 3 parcels to the individual as willing to allow them go to the city of Auburn as presented. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Want to take a break now or keep going?
Take a break now, so I can call Larry.
Pardon?
That's fine, so I can give Larry a
Oh,
call real quick.
yep, okay. This time, we will go into recess, and we will commence again at 10:15. call the Commissioners' meeting back into order. Excuse me. We have Ms. Holman with us this morning. There's a little blue light on the microphone. Is it on?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes. Good morning. I'm
Morning.
Pat Holman with the Covered Bridge Association. We would like to ask for permission to install a 30-foot flagpole by the bridge. Along with the flagpole, there would be a dusk to dawn light at the end of the bridge. All of this installation would be provided by the St. Joe Lions Club. We have the funds to purchase all the required material. In addition, the Lions would like to take the power line over to the pavilion. We do not need or ask for any funds from the county. We hope you are willing to accept this gift.
Thank you very much.
Can I get a copy of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
They should.
Very good. Very good. Please. No.
I thought you were moving on.
Yep. Yep. Yep, go.
Andrew, what do we, what's the motion we have to give? Permission to use the land?
Yeah, permission to install the flagpole and light, I guess. Is there a diagram as to where it would be installed?
Got a-
Yeah.
I
got a
just,
picture
yeah.
of an
Got a
actual-
picture of it? Yeah, could I take a quick look at that? Oh, okay.
Just right here on the
That's great. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't anywhere near the structure of the bridge, so it would be a historical thing. That looks fine to me. Okay.
I'm assuming you guys handle all the upkeep and
Yes.
take care of it?
So again,
Yes, our big question is, do we tie into the power that's there, or should we go on?
Is there power to the bridge itself because of like the
Yes.
cameras? Oh, okay.
that,
I don't know what power requirements are gonna be there, and I guess it's,
We pay a minimum out there?
I just asked.
I'm,
Does the does the county pay that?
I'm looking, I mean, we pay for the cameras. We do the camera part of it. I'm looking to see if we, I don't know if we have utilities out there or not.
Just 1 second, she's looking up. We want to make sure we do it right the first time.
I'll make a motion to allow the flagpole while we figure out the light, just to do the flagpole, allow them to build and maintain the flagpole.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept the proposal as presented to place a flagpole on the location.
oh, I had just a question that I thought of here is, who's gonna maintain the flag? Your organization? Like, cause I think somebody has to like raise it every day and lower it every day?
Unless you have lights on it.
That's why we.
Oh, unless you have lights on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
We asked for that a little while ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
Commissioner Helen, I believe, asked that question, and she said there,
I won't take the.
my apology. Anyway, the commissioner asked
Okay.
that, and the Lions Club is going to maintain it.
Okay.
Between the Lions Club and the St. for the Covered Bridge Association.
Thank you for that clarification. Thank you. So, are we,
As far as we know, we just pay for the camera part. But we don't have like a utility bill or anything.
we don't have any utility bills, so,
Might have one for like the light, it's right there by the bridge. Because we paid through the Covered Bridge Association for quite a few years. And we turned it over.
I think we get anything. I
It's
just
very
asked
minimal out there.
accounts payable. I mean, unless it, I don't know who we would get it from. All of our other stuff is like specified. Health, Annex, Sunny Meadows, Central. If we do, it's very, very little, but I don't think we do.
We have a motion and a second to accept the flagpole as presented. Any other discussion, questions? Anyone in the public? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So the electricity now, basically, how are the cameras run? I mean, they're not battery, probably. Well, they could be.
You know, is there,
They're hooked into power.
Pardon me?
They're ran by power.
They are.
is there a junction box out there or
Yes.
power box?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that they can hook into the power box that's there for the light. It'll be minimal to run lights, so.
I'll second.
We have,
Yep. Yeah. By that, there's electricity right there, so. Yep. Sounds good.
And is that a motion just on the light for the flagpole and not yet on the extension to the pavilion? Okay.
wait,
Power for all of it, right?
Right.
Or for all of it, including the pavilion? Okay.
okay. We have a motion and a second to accept the power proposal as presented. Any other questions or comments? Anyone in the audience? Hearing no one, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your efforts. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Have, Mr. Humbucker, do you want to come early?
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I just wanted to update everybody. Commissioner Yard had brought up an incident at Fike Park at the last meeting. I've had a chance to talk with him and Ellen about this, but I want to make sure you're aware and it's on record here. There was an incident at Fike Park where a child was injured. There was a paramedic that was our caller. I still haven't determined for sure, but there were 2 to 4 registered nurses there. No one else in the public knew this, but, you know, when we received a call, the paramedic had asked us just to send an ambulance. After doing our questioning that we need to, it did not meet the approved protocol by the fire departments to send fire to the scene. We transferred it to Parkview EMS. Parkview EMS took 16 minutes and 39 seconds to get there from DeKalb Hospital. And double checking the notes, 15 minutes into that, they requested a paramedic truck or advanced life support truck, and that took 11 minutes and 20-some seconds, and I stand corrected, it did come from Parkview DeKalb, not Noble County, which shortens the time. Also at the 15-minute mark, the paramedic on scene did call and say, hey, you know, since we don't have anybody here yet, can you go ahead and send us fire? At that time, EMS was on scene and everything like that. There was no delay on Central Communications' part. We followed our policies and procedures. The Fire Department Chiefs Association for the county provides us with a list of items that they will run on as far as medical, and this did not meet that criteria. So we followed our rules and regulations and got it to Parkview. I'm not throwing Parkview under the bus or anything like that. We do not control their response time. They have about 5 or 6 things, maybe a couple more, out of a list it's probably 100 long, that they actually run lights and sirens to. So, but I just wanted to make sure you were aware, and then everyone was clear that there was no delay on Central Communications' part, no wrongdoing. We followed policies and procedures.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I guess since I started this mess, I've looked into a lot of the, you got two teams, one from Butler and one from Garrett, and fans, there was quite a big group of fans, but fans didn't know any of this fact that there were nurses on scene that were taking care of her, and they didn't even request help right away, because they had it under control. And then when they called Parkview, they told them that all they wanted was an EMS, because they had to, but the mother was happy and everybody was happy, but except the crowd. So once we got, the next day, figured out why things happened in the, way they did, everybody was happy with the way it turned out, and Parkview and Central did their jobs, and so just to start with, it was a little questionable, and you got a couple hundred fans there waiting until no EMS is coming, no first responders were coming. But that's what the ladies that were taking care of the little girl requested. So it all worked out. She played ball the next day, and she walked into a baseball bat when somebody was swinging to warm up and hit her right across the chest and lower abdomen, and that started turning black and blue instantly. So the fans looking in are thinking, "Oh my God!" But the people that are taking care of her were happy that they were, so it all worked out.
One thing I'd like to add is, Brian, I don't think you touched on it, was the truck that's usually in Garrett was on a run at the same time. That's why the truck was coming from Auburn. There is a truck that sits at the Garrett Fire Station that would have responded if they weren't on another emergency call at the time.
Yep, and that was a paramedic truck. The first truck was just a basic EMT. Do they consider it a basic if it's just a basic EMT and an advanced?
It's still a BLS truck.
Still a BLS truck.
Yeah, they call it a BLS truck unless you have a paramedic on it, then it's an advanced life support truck, ALS truck. So, and like Brian said, it's been for many years now, since when I worked EMS, that you do not go license sirens to every run anymore. That is something that's been standard in EMS for a while now. They find it puts the public at more danger by going license sirens versus another minute or two on certain stations. Now, certain calls do go license sirens, but most calls do not anymore. Just one of those situations.
Very good. Thank you for the clarification.
No problem. I did email the three of you about a separate incident involving our gate, and I wanted your guidance on how to proceed. Does anybody have any questions about the email and or the video that I forwarded you?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, so I have no idea how to do
Okay.
minutes.
Not last Friday, Friday before last, a county employee stopped in the exit gate while it was open to talk to somebody who was working on it. That gate is not a man gate, so it is not required to have a beam sensor. It's on a timer. And when it starts to close, just like opening and closing the entrance gate, there's a beeping sound. This employee did not heed that warning, and the gate smashed into the side of his truck, causing several scratches and a dent. And I've talked with insurance trustees, and they said to get your guys' guidance on if we need to open a claim on it, or if this is a employee needs to own it type issue. There's probably anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000 worth of damages due to the fact that of the scratches, the whole bedside will have to be painted. So, I know from personal. What's that? Nope, gate's still working just fine.
So the question is, from the legal standpoint, I guess, is whose fault is it? I mean, that's what you look at, who made the mistake that caused it? And, I mean, it seems like, without having maybe 100% knowledge there, it doesn't seem like it's the county's fault. Maybe that's the first thing I would say. There's a gate out there that everybody knows is an automatic gate, and so I guess everybody would know you don't park your vehicle. But what you want to do about that, I mean, I would say it's within your discretion to do what you want to with that.
Norman?
It's probably also within any deductible we would have on it, I would think. I don't know if Kyle.
I did not ask Kyle at Insurance Trustees what our deductible is normally, Susan tells me how much to pay for insurance, and that's about all I know as far as our,
I would assume there's a deductible even if. And then it's also possible if you turned it into insurance, they might deny the claim if they said it's not the county's fault.
He on duty, or was he off duty, or,
he was leaving for the day.
so he was basically clocked out on his own time? I don't see how that's the county's fault, so I would recommend to have him turn into his own insurance, and I don't see that, do you see any reason why the county would, if somebody's off duty and they park in the wrong spot, and
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I don't necessarily see county liability in this. Just because, I mean, I can see how it would happen. You get maybe distracted, you're talking to somebody, and therefore you don't hear the beeps or whatever, and you don't realize it's gonna close, but it's part of your duty as a driver, I would think, that if there's an automatic gate, you make it all the way through before it shuts.
I mean, it is on a 30-second delay. I mean,
Yeah.
so it's not like he stopped, just say, hey, see you, Andrew, boom. I mean,
Right.
and it's been that way since we rebuilt that entire gate system. So it's not a new change or anything like that.
He turns it into his own insurance. Why I asked if there was any damage to the actual gate.
Nope, no damage to the gate, and it's got a little,
Because is a secure facility, that gate needs to be closed, so it needs to close. It doesn't need to be able to have someone park there and leave it open for a long period of time.
Important security issues.
Yes.
And according to your testimony, he heard the beeps and still ignored them.
he should have heard the beep. I'm hard of hearing, and I do not have hearing aids, and I hear the beeps, so.
Yeah, I'm with these two gentlemen that, I'm sorry he has to take responsibility for his own actions. I think it's pretty much that simple. It wasn't anything that the county changed or did something different to create the issue. So,
I mean, and the fencing company that put it in is a very reputable company, and they said, do people walk through this? They're not supposed to. That's why there's no eye there. There used to be one, but every time it frosted, the sensor would frost over and then the gates would lock open. So that's why we went to a time-delayed system, which meets their codes. And
well,
I don't, so right now you're not doing anything.
nope, I just needed their guidance,
Yeah.
because I don't want to open an insurance claim. And
Right. So I mean, I guess,
can't we do
you
it
could
by,
maybe make a motion to say, to not open a claim on this, and not to pay it at this point. Maybe to just have a clear statement in the minutes.
I'll make that motion that we do not file a claim for the county for that, let his own insurance take care of it.
Second.
a motion and a second to deny access to a claim?
Yep.
As presented. Any questions or comments? Anyone in the public? Hearing no one. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 3-0. Now we have a fourth commissioner.
all right. Thank you very much, gentlemen, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for coming.
One second, Brian. Brian, do you want to address the overtime comments that were made last time?
By all means.
You want to explain that?
Also, previous meeting, there was a discussion about excessive overtime at Central. We are not having any excessive overtime. We do the 12-hour Pittman schedule, 223. Since we are our own entity, we are civilian employees, so anything over 40 hours in a week is compensated at time and a half. Every employee ends up with 8 hours of time and a half every 2 weeks. We've used this schedule since before Central was actually an entity when we were still at the sheriff's department under sheriff's purview. Looking at the amount of overtime paid out on the last pay cycle, we covered, it comes out to like 4.4 shifts is what needed to be covered. That was, you know, we had PTO, we're down one position right now, but, and I believe Jody, thank you very much for looking it up. We're on par for what we've paid out in the past. Now, first of the year, it's going to be a little rougher. Several employees will be out on maternity leave and things like that. But we are not in excess by any stretch of the imagination right now. I know some other counties have talked about their scheduling. I would beg and plead, I'll get on my knees if I have to, please don't ask me to change the rotation. We will lose staff in droves. My team loves their 12-hour schedule. Yes, there is built-in overtime with it, but what we've been doing for years is now becoming the industry normal. You know, we're doing more with less. If we have to have 3 8-hour shifts, we're going to have to hire some more people to make sure everybody can have their days off. And what we would save in this build-in overtime, we're going to spend probably double. And I know my budget can't handle that. But we are on par for what we have been spending. We are very mindful of the amount of overtime. That's been drilled in my head since I became a director. Be mindful of the taxpayer money, and that's what we do. So
When you're with my experience in EMS, and I think Rick will talk about it here in a second, it looks like you're going to have built-in when you have a 24/7 service. You're going to have built-in overtime, or you're going to have a lot of employees to help cover those hours. Just like in EMS, you can't just have somebody off and not fill that space. So you're going to have to fill it with somebody, and they're specialized that you can't just have somebody off the street come fill in for those spots. So you're going to have to bring in other people, which is going to have overtime. You do the built-in overtime because you don't have to hire 3 or 4 more employees, which then you're going to have to pay them straight time on it, which might seem like you're saving money, but then you have benefits and everything else that comes along with having those 4 extra employees. That this is just a standard. The sheriff's department probably has built-in overtime also. I'm going to assume any other 24/7 services have built-in overtime. It's part of having to have services provided at all times.
Rick Ring, County Council, and I just want to reinforce what Kellen has just said. They work a 24-hour shift. They schedule for 24 hours, 7 days a week. Their 12-hour shift is probably the most effective and most cost-effective that it can be, because they are civilian employees. They do have to pay one way or the other. Either overtime is anything over 40 hours in 1 week or over 8 hours in 1 day. The county has chosen to go 40 hours in a week. So that's why they get certain amount of scheduled overtime. You do save money in that if you went to 8-hour shifts, you would have to hire additional staff. And on top of that, you would have all their benefits in that. So he is running into a rough spot here, as he just said, in the next few months, because he's got 3 employees that are going to be on maternity leave, going to have to backfill those 3 spots, and he's got somebody that's going to retire. So it's unavoidable issues. Now, as far as fire and police, under the wage and hour law, police have a special number of hours that they can work in 1 month before they have to pay overtime. Fire departments have the same thing. It's a different set of hours, but it's...
DeKalb changed, because you can do 1 month or you can do 2 weeks. It used to be every 28 days, and it was a nightmare for payroll. So several years back, we changed to 14
Okay, so they're following the state wage and hour, the federal wage and hour law. That's what Brian and Central Communications is doing. It is, like I said, we've hit a rough spot. Now, I think we mentioned this at the last council meeting, that you were going to have that rough spot. But when we budgeted for Central Communications, we took into account the fact that he was going to have scheduled overtime. So,
Thank you, sir. Anything else? Matt?
Thank you for clarification of that, so.
Yep.
I just wanted to
Thanks for
clarify
bringing
that.
that
Yep.
up as well.
Anyone else in the audience? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Michelle, if you're ready. Good morning. Welcome.
Hi. I'm here today to get approval of a contract for commissary services for community corrections. Before I arrived at community corrections, and Susan can probably knows much more about this than I do, they had attempted to run a commissary type program in which the participants in residential can buy food, products, snacks, hygiene items, which they're required to buy through commissary for safety purposes, and some other items. And there, I believe, was some sort of audit where the county was told they could not run such a thing, according to State Board of Accounts and state law. Correct? Okay. So what happened this last year was the legislature decided to remedy that. They passed Senate Bill 92, which does now allow community corrections to do commissary programs, not necessarily in the same fashion that sheriff's departments can run them. Ours will be through the auditor's office with a claims system, just like we run every other account that we have, which is not a problem for us. What we're interested in is obviously having the ability to run the program, offer some things that we think our participants could benefit from that aren't necessarily offered now by the jail's commissary provider. And then also, this will allow us to increase our project income by being able to run the program. So any revenues that we get from the program can only be used for 4 things. One of them is to continue running the commissary program. The others are for rehabilitation and educational programming, facility improvements that are for programming, and then staff training and equipment. So those are the things that we could use that revenue for, which means we're saving it in our project income account and being able to use those for other things. For the process, we contacted 3 providers, including the one currently used by the jail, kind of had them each show us what they had available, what the setup would be, different things like that. And the contract that I'm here for today is for Kelwell. They are our chosen provider mostly because of, well, there's a couple of reasons. Their pricing for most products that we would use is actually lower than what our participants are paying now. So they'll be able to get more for the money that they're putting in. They are able to provide us with clothing. So we do have, when participants are in the facility, they do have like a uniform that they wear. They don't wear just any street clothes that they want to when they're in facility. So they'll be able to purchase those items from the commissary, which they can't do now. They're also offering us access to some tablets, which can be used for entertainment and texting purposes. They can text to relatives, friends, whoever they want to. That can be monitored by our staff, so we can make sure there isn't anything going out that's concerning to us. And they also offer a software package that allows the participants to make deposits into their account. So there'll be no cash handling by our staff, which I appreciate because we know that that requires then a bunch of cash handling rules and where does the money go and who double checks it and all these things. So it'll be all done online into the software program. The software program is also where their order, what they want, and then we just are going to be reconciling that with the auditor's office monthly. So all of that is at no cost to community corrections. So we don't pay any setup costs. We don't pay for the software. We don't pay for anything. It's all funded by the purchases that the participants make for that company. And so there is the contract. It has been reviewed. Andrew and Susan both had a couple changes they wanted. Kelwell made all those changes and sent it back to us. And I don't think there was anything further. Is that right, Andrew?
I think the biggest thing I had was paragraph 6, they had a first right of refusal to match any financial offers provided by other companies. I saw at one point they had taken that out, and that your understanding too?
Correct.
That's out of this version of the contract. Just because, I assume this company will be good, but if they're not, I don't want us to be stuck with them just because they can meet the pricing of another company. So they took that out. I believe I'm okay with it.
So our choice of the provider was, and the ability to start doing the commissary program was approved by our advisory board on June 26th. So our next step is just to get approval for this contract and start moving forward with planning, implementing, and whatever else there needs to be.
I did have one other question. Are you currently under contract with the company through the sheriff's office?
We are not. We were simply put under the sheriff's account that they already had.
But the DCC is not under contract currently through that?
Not that I'm aware of.
Using it, but not under contract?
Correct.
That was my only question.
Gentlemen, you've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to accept the contract?
What's it costing us to have? Can't remember.
It's paid for by what they buy.
So it's no cost to us, correct? Right. Yeah, I just wanted to double check. I didn't think it so. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion and a second to accept the commissary services agreement with Ken Caldwell as presented. Any other questions or comments?
I have one more comment. It says on section F, Andrew, it says client agrees to pay a license fee of $3.95 per credit card deposit plus 5% fee of the total deposit, which will be charged to the depositor. Are we paying upfront and then the depositor pays for it at the end? Whoever uses
No,
it? Is that how that works?
the participant will go onto the website and decide what amount of money they want to deposit. They'll be charged the $3.95 plus 5%.
So they're the client, not us.
Correct. The depositor would be our participants.
Okay. I just know when it says client, if we were the client or if they were the client, so, okay.
I believe they're the client, Michelle said.
Yeah, I just want to double check it.
I have one comment, I guess. It does have that automatic renew after 3 years.
Look at it. I think you can give a notice to say you don't want that. Just have to have
I know, but
someone watching that.
yeah, that's been the issue in the past.
That's true. We could ask him to take that out, but.
Is there, I know you want to do this immediately, but, and we do have a motion in a second. I'm asking the commissioners if we can make that as a caveat to the motion that it doesn't automatically renew after 3 years. In the past,
Mind amending my motion?
To not automatic renew ever, or?
Not to automatically renew, that we'd have to renew it
so there has to
after 3 years.
That you would be approving it subject to them taking that automatic renewal out.
correct.
Where is that at, though, Jim? I don't see it on here.
Yeah, it's,
I see the period for 3 years, but I don't see it saying automatic.
yeah, I read it wrong, but number 6, commencement and termination, the very last sentence. After 3 years, this agreement shall auto-renew for additional 1-year periods without written consent unless otherwise terminated as listed above.
I'll amend my motion. There you seconded it.
Second.
We have amended the motion to accept the contract with the caveat that the 3-year agreement does not auto-renew. Am I correct in that? Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 3-0.
Get that changed.
Little Jim.
I know, under other business, you also had, acceptance of our pretrial, process evaluation. I just wanted to check with you if you had any questions about that.
Well,
You may have already accepted it.
looks like you're doing everything and was an excellent, excellent job, and I appreciate the job you do very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
How many participants do you have out there right
Want to motion to accept this, acknowledge?
now? I'll make the motion. To accept the knowledge of the pretrial service process evaluation.
Second.
Motion is second to accept the,
Trial services process.
that. Any questions or comments? Anyone in the public? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried 3-0. Thank you, Michelle. Used laptop purchase.
Okay, so did you all read what I put? So, there is, okay, 1 second here. Okay, so we, in the auditor's office, we purchased laptops. The IT department, they have a schedule to replace laptops every 5 years. However, 2 of our laptops that Jody and I use, they were not keeping up with the amount of work and programs that we have to use daily, evening, all the time. So we got, IT got us different laptops that had more stuff to it. I don't know how to explain it. So anyways, generally, computer equipment is purchased by IT. However, if some departments have extra money, then they will purchase items. So whenever I have extra money, because I have a couple other funds, then I purchase the equipment. So I bought in like printers and other laptops, monitors, all kinds of stuff. So IT gave the laptops back to us because they were purchased with auditor's budget money. If it was IT, they would have just kept them, put it in the basement, and then waited for the recycle people to come pick them up. And I tried to get a price from the recycling people, and they said they don't really have a price they can give me, because if we called to pick up 2 laptops, they wouldn't charge us. They just wait till we have a bunch of stuff to recycle. So then I worked with Attorney Cruz and BESA and tried to figure out prices of what they would be worth, because we're interested in. So, Attorney Cruz's IT guy, he checked with them. They said that it would be between $250 and $350. I think BESA had said a used version of what we have is around $300. In reality, if we don't purchase them, they're just going to sit and be no value to the county, because they'll just sit until they get recycled. So we are asking if you would approve a number in there that we can purchase the used computers. Did I say that all right, Andrew?
Yes, I think so. I think it was in the context of like, sort of like keeping your cell phone.
Yeah, there's multiple people that buy cell phones from IT, like if they leave employment, and that's just handled through IT. It doesn't actually come here, but I'm seeking your approval of the purchase.
That was going to be one of my questions is, the president, have employees been allowed to purchase equipment before? The answer apparently is yes.
Yeah, they do cell phones. There've been a couple, at least one, I know of that has purchased a firearm. Now, that came to the commissioners for approval. But the cell phones are the biggest ones. And I asked Besa how he determines that, and he says that he calls whatever phone company that they're with at that time, because we have a couple different phone companies, and phone company tells them what that version of that phone is worth at that time, and that's what they.
Would be something that would have been passed on to your next in line or whoever's taking your job?
No, I have a different one that IT has that will go, yeah.
So these are wiped of all the government?
Yeah, everything's wiped clean. And Besa can verify that.
My question is, why are we not selling all the laptops that they're just recycling?
Because these weren't 5 years yet, they were 3 years, I believe, from when we purchased this. Or they.
I understand what you're saying with those, but like, what about the 5-year ones instead of paying to be recycled out? Why don't we, I mean, there might be a market to sell used laptops, I mean.
Yeah, I don't know that there is, I mean, Besa would maybe know a little bit about whether there's a market for that. I think do they get them recycled for free?
I think, I mean.
If there's a bunch of them?
I don't know about the.
I'd be surprised if it was free.
He told me we paid $30 to recycle it. I don't know if there's a whole bunch, like Susan said, if they have like 30, I don't know. Told me initially, they had to
I called the company and
But then, I mean, instead of us paying to get rid of them, if someone wants to buy it from us, make sure it's cleared off and no risk to the county.
I wanted to make sure that there was some sort of independent type valuation idea there. And
Yeah.
What Besa found out and what I found out were pretty similar.
You found between 250 and 350, Andrew?
Yeah, I think that's what I
IT.
found.
And Beza said about 300. Fine with selling them. I would ask Beza why we aren't selling the other ones too. Instead of spending money.
that could, I don't know
Could be that
anything
in
about.
5 years, they can't guarantee them to anybody that they'll last any longer.
That's part of the deal if they want to buy it. You know what I mean? I mean,
You can always
That's-
buy the hard thing and get it upgraded too. I have absolutely no idea what that cost would be, but those, a motion,
I'll make a motion to sell the laptops for $300. The 2 laptops that two, correct? That we're discussing?
Second.
we have a motion and a second to sell the 2 laptops to the county employees at $300 per laptop. The fact that they have been cleaned has to be the condition. Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried 3-0. A Exos IT agreement.
Yes. Hold that.
There was just a few changes we needed to make from the last one.
Right. Travel dollars were zeroed out. I was fine with, from the legal perspective, they put language in that they are responsible for gross negligence or willful misconduct, so that provides some protection, which I think is probably good enough and probably reasonable given how other companies would create contracts. 2-year statute of limitations instead of 1 for filing suit, so I think that, I liked having that change in there because then you're not having to deal with a sleeper issue that would catch you off guard. And jurisdiction was changed to DeKalb County, so they made the requested changes, and so I'm fine with it from the legal perspective.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the Exos IT agreement as presented. Any other questions or comments? Anyone in the public? Hearing no one, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 3-0. Under it?
We'll buy it.
Buy it? Doesn't have to be in blue.
No.
Mm-hmm. 2026 jail inspection acceptance.
Make the motion to accept the jail, 2026 jail inspection.
I'll second the motion.
Have a motion and a second to accept the 2026 jail inspection as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. We gotta sign this, don't we? Bill's name on it. Scratch it out. What?
That was payroll that was approved last meeting. This is after they process it.
Not the payroll we approved today. We have the pretrial services process evaluation acceptance.
We already did that.
No, we did that when Michelle was here.
Oh, that,
Yep.
you're right. I don't see any other item on our agenda. Gentlemen commissioners, any item? Commissioner Dooley?
Oh, Sunny Meadows. So I did talk to Larry. He is willing to dispose of the items that we've discussed to dispose of. I would like to make the motion to allow Larry to use up to $5,000 of the Sunny Meadows fund to dispose of the items down there. That would include any PPE he needs if he wants to get some, suits like Tyrex suits, also disposal fees and all that kind of stuff. So he said he'd be willing to take that on. He'll work with the committee about which items be disposed of and which ones will be discussed further later on.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second to allow Larry, our department head, to spend $5,000 to.
Up to 5,000.
Up to 5,000 for removal of items from Sunny Meadows. Any discussion? Any other questions?
And that comes out of the Sunny Meadows Fund?
Correct.
Out of their budget.
Out of their budget.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Anything else? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 3-0. Commissioner Dooley, anything else?
That's all I have. This time.
Commissioner Yard?
Nope, I have nothing.
I have nothing at this time. Andrew?
Nothing further?
Ladies? Anyone in the audience? Hearing no one, opposed, have a motion to adjourn. Yeah, my apology.
Consensus.
Please close it.
We're done.
Yep.